First and foremost, we are starting with this lovely worksheet that we've been using for several years. I want to make sure you put your name at the top. And your period. You guys are period 3. Okay. Does anyone want to take a guess? What do the numbers along the side mean? It does, but there's another thing that it means. Not just to divide the sections, but that is one added bonus. Number of coils, that's a good guess. Something else. It is the number of inches. So for our sketches, all of our sketches are going to be 9 inches tall to keep it simple. That does not mean your final project has to be 9 inches tall. However, just so you know what 9 inches tall looks like, this is 9 inches tall right here. Okay, it's a little less than my forearm. And keep in mind, it shrinks. So 9 inches tall is not that tall, but I will give you guys a size. You'll have 2 options, or rather a range of options between 2 sizes. The smallest you can make and the largest you can make. We have not determined that yet. When I do, I will tell you. Okay, and for your final sketch, you can put it in one of those size for things. So if you flip over to the other side, you'll see there's no gray space. That is because the size may differ for each person. So I did not put gray spaces there. All right, so going back to this. What not to do. So I'm going to draw you a little sample, and I want you to tell me what's wrong with it. Okay, what's wrong with this one? Lisa. Say it louder. There's no lip. That's not the problem. There technically is, so this would be the top. But what's the problem with it? Yeah? It is not symmetrical. You guys have the dots, or sorry, have the boxes to make it symmetrical. It needs to be symmetrical. What is the problem with this one? I am exaggerating how silly I'm making these, but it's important. You look like you know. I'm not using names because I'm taping right now. What's wrong with it? Mm-hmm. Too skinny. Too skinny. There's no base. This would not be able to stand. And this is so skinny. Your neck must be a minimum of 2 inches wide. Your base must be a minimum of 2 inches wide. And just so you know how much that is, this is 2 inches. In comparison to just it's like 3 fingers wide. That's not very big. Okay? It's very small. So, base no smaller than 2 inches wide, neck no smaller than 2 inches wide. It must be symmetrical. I'm going to do one more problem. This one's not perfectly symmetrical, but that's not the problem I'm trying to emphasize. What is the problem with this one? No neck. Okay, there has to be a neck. And there has to be a lip. All right, so let's get to drawing. So the first one, we are doing the widest part at the top. What I do when I'm sketching is I will draw dots to represent width. And then I connect with lines. Do not draw yet. I'm going to show you 2 different things. Okay, so just watch this first time. So I'm first going to decide how wide I want my piece to be. This one, I'm going to make it pretty wide, and I'm going to set it at 6 inches wide at the widest part. I'm putting my dots further down because I want to have a little space for my neck. My neck, I'm going to make 2 inches at the skinniest part. That's pretty skinny. And then I'm going to go straight up. You can go straight up. You just cannot go in for the neck. And my base, I'm going to make 3 inches wide. To do that, you need to have 1 inch and then ½ an inch for 3 inches. When you add those together, 1 1/2, 1 1/2, that makes 3. Now, I get to decide, do I want my lines to curve in or do I want my lines to curve out? I'm going to do curved out on one side and curved in on the other side so you can see how that works. So I did curved in at the top. I'm going to do curved out at the bottom. For this one, I did curved out at the top, so I'm going to do curved in at the bottom. And at the top, I have to go straight because my lines are straight. Do you see how just having the same sizes, it can be dramatically different depending on how you draw your lines? Now, I do need to make it symmetrical. I think I'm going to go with the left one. So I'm going to do both sides like the left one. So straight down at the top, curved in, and then curved out at the bottom, curved out at the bottom. And then I'm going to draw a curved line at the bottom for my base, an open circle at the top for my top, and that is a completed coil pot. Okay, that's widest at the top. I want you now to do widest at the top. Do that first one. All right, so widest in the middle. I'm going to make my top a little wider this time. I'm going to go out to 1 1/2 on each side, which would make my top section 3 inches wide. I'm going to make my neck come down to 2 inches wide. And then I'm going to go out to 6 inches wide at my widest part and 1 1/2 at the bottom. I'm going to make it mirror the top. And I'm going to do straight lines at the very top. I'm going to curve out. And then I'm going to curve in. So this one is widest in the middle. Go ahead and do your second sketch. Widest in the middle. Remember to pay attention to that gray space. Make sure your widest space or widest piece or part, body, is in the middle for this one, or in the gray space. we're doing bottom heavy. Bottom heavy. All right, so widest part at the very bottom. This time I'm going to go small at the very bottom, and I'm going to go 2 inches wide. And I'm only going to go out 4 inches wide for my widest part. And I'm going to make the neck really long and come out to 1.5 at the top. So it's going to look a little funky. Here's some more examples just so you guys have some to look at. Go ahead and finish out your sketches when you're done. What's up, Jordan? We're getting close to the end of class. Can you wait, or do you need to go?